Hello, universe. Welcome to my world. A few months ago, we met Lutka, who is not only a classical piano player, but he also is a classical music scholar. And he amazed us with his piano skills improvising the Angelina Jordan performance of My Funny Valentine. Remember? And he did say that he would come back. I really think this should be an ongoing conversation, and I think we should do another video together.
That's quite true, and I would be happy to do something again with other songs of Angelina.
Well, today is the day he's come back. The first time he did an improvisation on My Funny Valentine, because 10 years ago, he actually made an improvisation around that song before anyone had ever heard of Angelina Jordan. But today we're going in a different direction, because when I asked him which other song he would wish to focus on, he chose California Dreamin' because he finds Angelina's performance something of exquisite beauty. Let's meet Lutka again. So, Lutka, today is something I asked you to choose, and you chose California Dreaming because you found it, her version, a thing of rare beauty. And because of the nature of music and the nature of your skill, you are going to communicate that beauty to your fingertips and then onto the piano. So this is something that Angelina Jordan does, because she takes a certain emotion and a certain feeling and she translates that into her singing, and you can take that emotion and translate that into how you play the piano. And so we are very curious as to another sample of your musical skill tonight.
Thank you, and for the nice introduction. I'm also very curious what I will manage to do this evening.
Okay, well, I have every confidence in you. Before we hear a little bit of the original Mamas and Papas clip, just to put it in a certain context, why don't we also say that in addition to you translating Angelina Jordan's version from her beauty into your beautiful interpretation, the challenge for you tonight, Lutka, is also for you to try and capture the mood of the 1960s, which is in the Mamas and Papas versions. So that is a challenge for you, because who knows, you may not have even been born in the 1960s.
I was born in 1964, but so I I didn't
don't
really
remember
live in the 60s. I didn't really live in the 60s.
You don't remember. Okay, well,
in the music.
This is your chance tonight to go back in time. Okay, so let's start listening to the Mamas and Papas.
All the leaves are brown.
Right, that takes me back. That's very 1960s. But Angelina Jordan was definitely not alive in the 1960s, but she captured something else with her version of the song. Let's hear how she does it, and then let us hear how your fingertips hear it as well.
All the leaves are brown and the skies are gray. I've been for a walk in the search of winter day.
I hope the piano is calling you now, Lutka.
So this would be the part which she sang now, like in really close to what she had done in the song.
It's very interesting how you made it a little bit more like classical music, and you made it a little bit more sad, but still very beautiful.
All right. So shall I go on with the next clip or changing it? Or...
Yeah, let's do a change just to broaden it out. Can you put the difference between those two in words, or are the words not easy to describe it?
Yes, so this would be like more an instrumental version, which could not be sung. Try to give a bit more ups and downs into the music, and not like telling a story more in this, but more music to it, maybe you could say.
Let's hear the next clip.
I've been 7-1. If I was in the lead, California dreaming, oh, in a search of winter day.
So she's still in the same mood as in the beginning, which maybe is a bit changed later in the song, and following up with the guitarist like fingerpicking. So she starts with a special aura and atmosphere in the beginning with guitarist accompaniment. Not many things which a guitarist does, so that she can free sing over it.
And how are you in capturing the 1960s? Do you think that is possible?
I can try to do so.
Good, good. That is so interesting. Can you possibly put into words what you've just done?
So the main thing is I put like a steady beat in the left hand, so that you get this drive, which of course in the original, maybe I captured something of this, and which drives you more on the steady beat, and you don't like listen to the story maybe, which is told, but it's this musical flow which at the first captures you.
That's interesting, because when Angelina Jordan sings, it's not so much the musical flow, it is the delicate beauty of her voice that she captures, which is a little bit different than what the Mamas and Papas captured.
Yes, it's true, of course. And maybe we can later listen to the things the guitarist Ivan Mendes told in this video which you made with him, where he talks about these fine nuances, textures, which he changes, and which is for the guitarist sometimes a bit difficult to follow, because she like follows her thinking, and for this it's good that the guitarist is sitting right behind him, because then you can, as an instrumentalist, better hear like breathe with the singer, and you can already like foresee what she will do and follow her.
It's like a skilled dance partnership where they try not to step on each other's toes.
All of her detail and the way that she holds every note, the breathing behind it, all the texture that she adds in, it's just incredible. The song is more of an upbeat song, you know, on the regular track. And I remember the goal was to do it more of like the flow of the style of Angelina, which is slowing things down. And then eventually it would build back up. And I remember I was just having a lot of trouble, like just staying within tempo. And then finally the song like catches on and it's more of like a strumming. One of the things that made her music so listenable is to do more finger picking so that everything's more like flowing rather than strumming and singing over the song. You're kind of singing with the song.
Let's carry on. Let's hear another clip.
Stop into a church. I pass along the way. Well, I got down my knees and I pretend to pray.
So this is like the second strophe, and the guitarist changes a bit the accompaniment so that it gets a little bit more of a steady beat in the background. It's not like all the time through, but it's already in the direction which comes at the end where it's a steady beat, like with strumming the guitar. And so this would be like more on the piano. You could imagine this is a special guitarist accompaniment. On the piano you could change it in this way. Like an idea to put it to the piano, like with this more beat, steady in the background.
It's amazing, Lutke, because to me, the original version from 50 years ago from the Mamas and Papas, I have to call it a tra-la-la version.
So I suppose get the same. It's tra-la-la in German. You would say maybe the same, I suppose.
Okay, yeah, okay. It's an international language. But when Angelina Jordan sings it, she captures a certain beauty. But when you turn to the piano, you capture a certain sadness to the song that neither of these two versions have. And this is so interesting, how you can have one song with three completely different interpretations.
Yes, it's interesting to hear, yes. So what the moment in which you live now maybe gets into the music.
Last time when we spoke, when I said maybe could you do 10 or 20 different interpretations? And you say, yeah, I could do 10 or 20 different interpretations. So what other moods can you put into the song? We can see you can do a sad mood. Can you do a different mood?
I would try. So like put it in another register, which would maybe not so exactly very far away, but which would of course make a different expression if you change the register. You can't do this with the voice because you cannot jump from this to this. So this would, of course, if you make like more variations on the same part of the music, you could change like this a register to make some more in the upper region.
That was great, Lutke. Do you know what I heard? If I ask you to play music for A Star Twinkling, that is what I heard in that piece. Let us hear another clip.
All the leaves are brown and the skies are gray. I've been for a walk in this such a winter day.
So this is like when it starts from the beginning with the same words, all the leaves are brown. And she changes the mood not only by the accompaniment of the guitar, which is now like this strumming sound in the guitar, but when in the beginning she sang, all the leaves are brown. Now she sings, all the leaves are brown, which is more to the original at this point. So this would be like more like this telling form in the beginning where it drops, but now it's not so to the deep and matching this other guitar sound, this change of the melody. It's only one note which is changed.
And will you give us another mood on the piano?
I will try.
Okay.
So I try to like this steady beat, which is now in the guitar, which changes, of course, the mood to like this more in the direction of the character at the end of the original. But this was like a build up from this telling the story in the beginning, and anyways, this is now the repetition of the words. So the mood is changed to round this up at the end. But you would like to have heard what's going on in the story, because the story could now start. The man is going to the church, and so what happens next? You would ask, because she tells the story so that you would like to listen on and on to the way in which she tells the story, because so far there's no end in the story.
We are focusing on the piano, and so the piano tells a story without words. And so the story with words is one thing, but for me, when I listen to Angelina Jordan's version, the words are secondary. For me, it is what she does with her mood and what she's created originally. And this is also why you are sitting by the piano. So you can then capture a certain mood and you can pick up the ball and run with it. This is rugby. Okay.
All right. I have to catch this comparison a little bit to find it.
Okay.
I saw that as we talked now about this storytelling, do we want maybe to show this idea which I told, this the comparison which came to my mind, this ballad style of certain pieces of Chopin?
No, if you want to give us a Chopin illustration for what we're talking about, that would be wonderful.
Yes, so I thought about this form of introduction, which is the beginning is, which sets the stage for the singer, and she comes in with this, and the story starts. So there's a special form with Chopin, which is he calls this ballad, which is like a new form which he invented, and he wrote 4 of these, and would be like some of the finest piano pieces he wrote. And there's always, I make it a bit shorter, some sort of same introduction to this. Which would set the stage, and now the singer, the storyteller starts. from the beginning of this piece, and there's a great dramatic development to the end of the piece, because often a ballad, of course, has like a dramatic end. And so this is like, it starts slowly a bit, like this storytelling, and gets into the flow later on in the piece.
Angelina Jordan has been compared to many different singers and many different types of music. I'm not sure she's been compared to Chopin before.
Maybe. So this is just this idea of the way she sings is storytelling. So this came to my mind because we mentioned it last time. Chopin also tried always, he was a great improviser, and he tried with difficulty to write this down, the things he improvised, because it's of course difficult to write down an improvisation. And he's told to hardship to write this down, to manage this, to give it the impression of this improvisation in the way he wrote this music down.
Okay, let's go to the next clip now.
I've been sipping one. If I was in LA, California dreaming in such a winter day.
So this is a follow-up from this variant with the strumming and the guitar, which now goes to the end with the repetition of this California Dreaming. We did already this variation. I can try to do something else.
Ludger, you play chess. I used to have a chess coach. He could walk by my game, and without stopping, he could see every single piece on what square it was, and he could recreate the board just by walking by. Are you like that with music? When you hear something, do you hear every single note, every single movement, every single thing that is coordinated together? Do you have like a photographic memory when you hear music?
No, I wouldn't say this. No.
Are you being modest?
No, I wouldn't say I have this. Could reproduce when I hear something. I at once could reproduce this. I can't say this.
It's not necessary for you to reproduce it because you improvise. But what you hear is something that ordinary people don't hear.
Maybe, of course, I have a more I connect these what I hear to other things which I have. Of course, maybe there's a greater experience with music.
Yeah.
But I can say from my knowledge that I know many musicians which in this region have better capabilities. I have maybe the capability to form it into different things, because this was now a new thing. I try to give more that the music is going to the end.
The thing which has come out of the last 30 minutes is how the same song can really communicate different emotion. You know, Angelina sings something pure and beautiful. And when you first went to the piano, you captured a certain sadness, but then you were able to go into other moods just through your musical interpretation. And that is a huge, huge lesson for what Angelina Jordan does, the way she captures different moods at different moments with different songs, just as an extension of her will.
Yes, she does this quite extraordinary.
Yeah, she does it quite extraordinary. So, Ludger, this is our second video together. And when we finish, we can think if and how we can do a third one.
Yes, we should think about it.
No promises, no guarantees. But if you
it's a good idea. I would like to do, because it's of course for me also it's a very interesting thing to do like this, which I didn't do before. To use your capabilities to do something beautiful.
It's called stretching your capabilities.
Yes,
and that is something to catch on camera and also to catch with the sound as well. Thank you, Lutka. This has been a real eye-opener.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.